Everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bob's Garage. I got another short video. This one I think will be a bit shorter. You've probably seen an old video, the carburetor. I had some problems with the fuel leaking into the carburetor. Well, I never really solved the problem. And the root of it, I was just fixing the drain to make sure it wouldn't accumulate. But the root of the problem is a leaking petcock. So I'm going to drain the tank in this video, take apart the petcock, which I've done before. This time, hopefully, do it a bit better so it seals up a bit tighter. Not a terribly complicated thing, but at least I'll show you what the inside of this petcock looks like. Got a replacement. Haven't put it around, kind of like the original one, frankly, but we'll go through it. So, reason why I know there's a problem is this is the same thing that's always happened. You tilt it up, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but you can see the gas dripping out of it. So I always run. Oh, there you go. A great big pile. I always run the catch can and have the drain all the way open because I know it leaks. But fresh in the season, probably a little bit of sediment in the tank, and it's probably plugged up the drain. So this time I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to fix the problem, the root of the problem, which is the petcock. So sit back, grab yourself a beer, and I'll take you through this. Thanks. Okay, you got a little catch container here. It's I've had this apart, but I can't frankly remember. I had to be very careful with the gasket on top. I think it's basically like a cone shape, kind of like a ball valve. I think it's a plug valve, but with a meter in it. So I'm going to take these parts off. I'll probably get a little gas out. The tank's been drained, but I'll just be careful. I remember the stop I fixed. And it looks like I'm going to do it again. Right there, a little piece of metal that just prevents the petcock from being over-rotated. Oh, and I got a little bit of gas. So I guess it's not thoroughly joined. And lost all my parts. Okay, so there's the plug. And this is, I think, the problem. See the black? That's the oxide in the bowl. I think that's why it's leaking, and it's just not seen. So just a very fine cleanup. And the part I dropped was the little spring here. So that's it. So this spring sits in. I think I lost one more screw as well. Sits in behind there, holds it tight. So it's not leaking past here. That O-ring just keeps it from leaking outside the tank. This is the problem. I lost the other screw now. So this is the problem right here. See, well, you can see that. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, so I dropped all my parts. Still missing the screw, but this valve, you can see with the hole right through there, and this spring is held in place with this backing plate. So the spring tension keeps it in place. That O-ring just keeps gas from leaking out. But you can see all this material. You can see I'm just taking off my fingernail. Well, it's not probably fitting smoothly inside that bore. So I'm going to very carefully clean that off. And a little bit of, I can feel my finger, a little bit of gouging in there. So I got to be careful. This is like a nylon material. And I know if I use the wrong material on it, you can roughen the surface and they can ruin it. So I'll be very careful on this clean and see if I can find out. But I'm sure that's what the issue is. That just fits in that bore and rotates back and forth. And it's just dropped again. It's just the mating surface. Oh, I'll have to find that in a second. It's just the mating surface between that plastic plug and that bore, and that's the only thing that prevents a leak. So, gotta be pretty much perfect. Here's a little bit of close up. I don't know if that'll focus. So I've tried already cleaning the surface off. Just fingernails. I can feel some ridges there. Got the dirt off. I'm going to try using a little bit, and there's a lip right in the top. Now I think that's normal. I think that's nothing. I might be wrong. It might be this lip is holding it up. I'm going to try fitting that in the bowl a few times to find out. Okay, so just a very fine scotch bright. I have to be really careful because, like I said, sometimes with polymers, this I think is nylon, but sometimes polymers just scuffs them up and makes them almost rougher by trying to do it, but this seemed to work really well. So I just polishing imperfections, and what's happening is debris is coming from the gas tank, probably rust. It's getting caught between the ports as you turn. You open and close these ports, and it's getting caught in there, and it's grinding across. So there's a little ridge in there, and I think I've just polished it out. So let's see how that works. Like I said, I'm probably erring on the light side, but I'd rather take too little off than too much. Can't put it back easily. So I'm going to put it back together now, which is, and same thing down here. I've taken same thing, very fine Scotch-Brite, and cleaned the board as much as possible. It looked fine, just trying to polish it up a little bit. So I'm ready to put things back together. Found all my loose parts. I'm going to clean these up a little bit. I'm going to fix the stop here again. Clean these parts up. There wasn't no issues there, but you can see the dirt between the gaskets, so it does run better. And I'll put it back together and see what happens. So one other thing, didn't show this, but this little tab is the stop, just so when you open and close the petcock, it's got a detent to stop to it. That was bent up and out, so I just used my anvil and hammer and just tap that back down in position. It's a little out of shape, but that should be fine. Just got to clean it up. There's quite a bit of gum on there, and put that back together now. So I did some cleaning these parts. Put a little bit of chassis grease on the washer between the two. And a lot of background noise. You get a lot of cars today. Now going back together, this is a 60s style Harley Davidson tank. There is only one way they can go back together. See this slot on the top and the bottom? One's narrower and one's wider. It can only fit in one way. So you really can't get it put together wrong. So like I said, just put a little bit of chassis grease. Like the petcock was really stiff before. It almost like it had a gasket adhesive on the washer. Don't need that. Don't know why it was there. I might be wrong using chassis grease, but I'm going to try it. Now these things will be affected by gasoline. It'll likely be washed away pretty quick, and maybe that's why it's there, but it was so sticky before, I don't think it was helping a whole lot. So the spring's got to go in between the two pieces, 2 screws in, and that's it. I don't think I'll show you that part. So it's been about, say 2 weeks since I did the work in the petcock, and everything's working good. Not getting any leakage at all. And as you can see, I got the garage back, got the boat out, got a bit of space now, a little bit easier working on things. But yeah, there's been no problems, so I think that's what the issue was. And it looks like that bit of black residue was probably aluminum oxide from the body of the petcock, but everything's been working good. So I'll keep you appraised if everything changed, but so far so good. So thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing some more videos. Got a few more things to do. I've ordered a couple more jets for the Harley as well. I'm going to try going to a couple of richer sizes again. That'll be probably 4 sizes larger on the main jet, but we'll see how that works. Again, starting fine, everything's running great, but I'm going to try to experiment a little bit. Anyhow, thanks for watching.